All right, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at GMS, and to the elect doing work in sincerity and in true shalawam. This is Zar Chad here, GMS precepts. Real quick, reading over a few scriptures, and I don't have a title, but I found a topic, and it's basically going into our heritage, man. Our meaning you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we were given a heritage, we were given a custom, we were given promises, um, and it was only to the nation of Israel. That also proves a separation between the nations, right? That also proves the importance and the proves how special we are in the eyes of the Most High, because we were the only nation that were given the laws, statutes, and commandments. Not all nations were given that. Um, you know what? Let me go to Leviticus first, since I brought up that. This is Leviticus 26 and 45 and 46. It reads, "But I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their power. I am the Lord." Right. So this is the Most High. He's speaking about. He's speaking about um, um, how he remembered the ones that he delivered out of Egypt. Right now, it's well known through history, textbooks. It's common knowledge that the ones that were in Egypt under bondage under the Egyptians were the Israelites, and they were delivered. You know, by the famous story of the 10 plagues that happened in the land of Egypt. Okay, so it's saying, I read that part again. It says, "But I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought out of the land of Egypt," which we know that was none other than the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? It says, "In the sight of the heathen, that I might be their power, I am the Lord." Right? Continuing on, it says, "These are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses." So that's showing you who he made these statutes for. The same ones that he delivered out of Egypt, out of bondage. Okay, those people that he delivered are the same ones that he gave the statutes and judgments and laws to. No other nation did he do that for. Okay. Let me go here now. I'm gonna go to Psalms 105, 8, 9, and 10. Psalms 105 and 8. It says, "He hath remembered his covenant forever, which the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations." So I remember at camp one time we were going at it with this this nigga, this Puerto Rican nigga that was saying that the Most High um is not dealing with the nation of Israel anymore. He expanded and changed, and now he's dealing with all nations. His promises and his love is for every nation, because the Israelites couldn't get it right. That's not scriptural. That's just trying to um, include every other nation in something that was never for them. Okay. Um, I read this again. It said, "He hath remembered his covenant forever." Okay, what's covenant? Covenant is that goes into the contract, the agreement that he made. It's gonna go into it. The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath was Isaac. I'm sorry, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. So this is something that's an everlasting covenant. This is something that's not going to end. This is a situation or a promise that's not going to be for one group in one point of history and then expand to others. The only ones that it's going to, I mean, you can't even really say it's going to expand to, but it did go out to the Israelite foreigners, right? but they're still Israelites, right? As long as you are of that seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which are considered the fathers of the promise, you fall into that umbrella of Israel. Okay? And that's it. All right. Let me go to Baruch 4:1. It says, "This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die." So there's certain stipulations that go with this law and these the heritage that was given to us by the Most High. All right, He told us through the hand of Moses that if we abide by these laws, statutes, and commandments, that the Most High is going to protect us. But the moment we stray away from it, all right, and worship the gods of the heathens, the Most High is going to deal with us. And that's exactly what He did. The Most High allowed our enemies to take us over. And you fast forward to the year 2021, and this is the end result. You see the state of our people. It's at an all-time low. And our heritage was stripped away from us. Matter of fact, let me get that in Jeremiah. I believe it's 17:4, right? It says, "And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy what? From thy heritage that I gave thee, and will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever." Now we already know it's not literally meaning forever, because other scriptures say that it's what? An everlasting covenant. Basically, it's just meaning for a short period of time, which we're approaching that end of our punishment, right? You see Israel waking up to the fact of our true identity, man. Let me get Lamentations. What is it? 4? Lamentations 4 and 20. I'll start at 21. "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked." That's speaking to and directed to the nation of Edom, that the cup, which represents the curses that were applied to the nation of Israel, it's gonna go onto you now, right? For all the wickedness that you've done to the nation of Israel, the Most High has to avenge the nation of Israel. He hasn't done that yet, but that judgment for Edom is coming soon. Which, if you go to the Bible dictionary and certain scriptures in the Bible, Isaiah 34, Revelation 20, Revelation 13, that judgment against the nation of Edom is going to far exceed any other judgment given from the Most High to any other nation that has walked the earth. This is going to be a real bad judgment, or violent takedown of Esau. Right? Next verse. "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of..." Now is going to the daughter of Zion, which is Israel. Right? You go into the word Zion, it means monument. We are a monument is something that is a remembrance of. You see, the nation of Israel is considered a monument because we are the physical representation of the Most High on earth. Okay? "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." So the punishment, the Most High is getting ready to visit this right here. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. We're approaching that time of the Most High visiting and addressing the iniquity of Edom. He will discover thy sins, right? So it says right here, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. Or speaking about the daughter of Zion. So let me go back to Jeremiah. I was in Jeremiah. Where was I? Let me go before Jeremiah. Where was I? I was in Baruch, right? So it says, "This is the book of the commandments and the law that endureth forever. And they that keep it shall come into life, but such as leave it shall die." So we left the commandments. It was all in the spirit, but the Most High is waking up the nation of Israel to come back to their true heritage, right? Also, I got the definition of heritage. Let me just bring it out now since I mentioned the word heritage. This is the etymology online, etymology.com. It says heritage, that which may be inherited, from Old English, heir, inheritance, ancestral state, heirloom, inherit from the Latin hereditare, ultimately from the Latin heir, meaning condition or state transmitted from ancestors. So, what's transmitted from our ancestors, or what is inherited? Basically, this our culture, our ways, the practices that the Israelites did. That's something that's our heritage. That's something that's of us. That's what separates us from the other nations. Okay, our customs. Also, our heritage is rulership. You go back to the promises. Let me go back to this scripture I just read. He hath remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. So these are considered the fathers of the promise. Going back to Abraham, he told him that he will make his seed a king, a nation of kings and rulers. All right, and as kings and rulers, you have servants. All right, you have land, you have wealth. He will also gonna bless us with knowledge and righteousness. You see, that's part of the new covenant. That covenant is gonna be us keeping the laws perfect. We are gonna be perfect. Okay, that's part of that promise, right? And that's also part of our heritage, right? So what we got? We got this is Sirach or Ecclesiastes 34, I believe, verse 8. It says, "The law shall be perfect. The law shall be found perfect without lies, in wisdom and perfection to be a faithful mouth." So the law, there's nothing wrong with the law. There was just something wrong with man because we were in a sinful flesh, right? That's why he had to send his son down, Yahawashi, to take on the sins or the transgressions of the nation of Israel, so we can then be perfect. You see? The law shall be perfect without lies, right? So there's nothing essentially wrong with the law. It was just something wrong with man, which we were created. So this is all a story. This is all things that had to play out, right? Because we couldn't just receive the glory and the promises without going through the bad first. Because I like to use this analogy, and I believe I got it from the apostles. In order for you to appreciate the good, you have to go through bad, right? I always use the example of like trust fund babies or families or children that are born into wealth. All they know is a silver spoon. All they know is money. So much money, you don't know what to do with it. You don't have the same appreciation for those certain things when you haven't experienced the other side to it. Now, for years, we've been going through our captivity. We've been ruled over by other nations. So we've experienced the bad side. We've experienced the other side of it. Right now, we're getting ready soon to experience the glory, the perfection, the 100% righteousness and love of the Most High, and it's gonna be beautiful, man. Right? So that's why we're going through it. So this is what Sirach 17, verse 11. It says, "Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage." You see, he gave us knowledge and the law of life for a heritage. I was just going into what heritage, the definition of heritage, and in the context of this video, what heritage means, and that's not only our customs and our practices, but that's also what's promised to us going back to Genesis, the 17th chapter, starting with the father of the promise, Abraham, which he was promised to none other than by the Most High Yahawah. Okay? Look at that. Once again, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments. Everlasting covenant. That's something that's never going to end. All right, so that's pretty much it. Lord willing, you brothers and sisters were edified. Until the next show, shalom.